Bad hires drain your time, money, and your sanity. Well, I've cracked the code on how to get the right hire every time, and I'm about to share it right now. You're about to watch a 1-hour presentation of me speaking at a conference, sharing my secrets. By the way, if it's your first time here, my name's Hugh, and I teach business owners how to build generational wealth with ease, first by optimizing their business, and then by showing them how to invest that difference. But more critical than almost anything else in your business is getting the right people on the team, because a bad apple can absolutely ruin all the effort and the work and a culture in just a few weeks. It is shocking. I've got a ton of experience having run a $52 million company, 350 employees across every single time zone, then later took that skill set, retired a millionaire, 0 to 280 doors, whatever it is. You know how that goes. Go watch the other videos, but we're gonna get to the hiring secrets right now. All right, so lean hiring, how to build a killer team without wasting time. This is a really, really big deal. A lot of you guys are scaling teams. I know I sat with Albert a bit, and then I think it was a little bit before your son was born, so then you shrunk your team back down. We're always asking this. Some of you guys are about to go into operations. You're gonna build a team. So it's a really, really critical step. A little bit about myself. Hugh is the Venn diagram between lean or lean methods and real estate right now. And what it's allowed me to achieve is I'm a process engineer with business operations, sounder apparently of Business Wealth Blueprint, where we unfuck businesses. I used to run a $52 million international company, retired a millionaire in 15 months, 0 to 287 doors in 22 months. You guys all know this stuff. Scaled from basically 0 to 48 million in the last 5 years. That's me and investing some other funds, but no prior experience to real estate. And I have an epic mustache. But it's the skill set of lean that I applied to everything. It's the skill set of lean where everything thrives. And a lot of that comes down to not just processes, systems and processes, but culture. So introduction, who this is for. Business owners who need top tier employees without wasting months of hiring. And that's kind of sanitized. Another one is bonus. Owners who have hired people that later turned out to be a piece of crap and wasted everyone's time. And then you're constantly doing it over. Sure, that's never happened to any of you in this room specifically, or you've never worked on a team like this. 70% of a company is the culture. 30% is everything else. 30% is what Stacy came in and showed on the ops side and the whatever. This is your product you sell. This is your thing that you do. This is your marketing strategy. This is what Dean just presented on AI. That all lands into the 30% bucket. That's the stuff that moves the needle, and generally that's the stuff that people care about. But the reason I'm gonna spend so much time talking about this is you guys need to know the why, because the answer I'm gonna give you is so simple that smart people refuse to believe it. So just have some faith, and this is why this is so big. There's a lot of awesome, epic stuff that we can do in the 30%. That's what most of us are here for. But 70% is the culture. If you're a solopreneur, you have no team, congratulations, that's you. Also, you own a job. You don't own a company, congratulations. If you have a team that is just constant churn, it's a huge pain in your butt, then that is gonna be what culture is like. It's one of the main reasons I despise EOS. I absolutely despise, actually, it's good for my business because I'm brought in to go unfuck a lot of businesses who implement EOS. And I'm saying that in this room because too many other people here, EOS is the way to go. And this has nothing to do with EOS. EOS is a fantastic tool, but it's not a great way to run a business because that all falls into the 30%. But when you have that, it's a great KPI tracker. You make it about tracking everything. It can become a militaristic way to track only KPIs and paper cut everything to death. So you can have a functioning micromanaged company, but the culture's crushed. So often there's bad implementations of it. It's a fantastic tool. Why is it touted as such awesome thing around here? Because we are the right type of people that know it. We are the ones in charge. We are self-motivated. We are awesome. When you bring that EOS tool to us, we are gonna use it. We're gonna get alignment, vision. Oh yeah, woo. It is a great tool to use. But when we go back to our teams, they are not us. And that's what we're talking about today. So today we're talking about this. This is lean hiring. That little bit of the typos in the bottom. Okay, real quick, 70%, 30%. So this is the foundation of what a company is. 70% is below the line. The top percent is the 30%. This is your product service. This is tools, this is automation, this is whatever. This is the framework. It's a rigid but flexible framework. And when you force people through this, it builds culture for you. And this is the part that most people miss. And it's so simple, people refuse to believe it. So on the 2-second lean side, there's tons of companies that have gone 2-second lean, but they don't make any more money. It's because they're good at this, maybe, but bad at business. A lot of the people that we talk to on the business side, fantastic at business, don't know how to do culture, don't know how to do hiring. Oh, you know what? And people are like, I'm just gonna use VAs. A VA is an employee. So, we use automation, all kinds of stuff. But you need all of it to kind of have a good business. So if you don't get it off the ground, then you're always left constantly fighting the fires continuously. The traditional problem. The traditional method is slow, expensive, and full of fluff. The solution is a hiring process that allows you to let them cut themselves out. So we're gonna get very specific. Some of you guys have heard me talk about this. So you're gonna see some of that. And then we may or may not have some time. I'm gonna show you some videos, examples of what I mean. But let them cut themselves out. And then your time is valuable. Why spend more hours hiring someone than we would spend on $1 million purchase? Most of us here are pretty good at running the numbers, and we'll spend 2 or 3 hours, maybe like seconds on like a $15, $20, $250,000 purchase. $1 million, we'll do like 10 hours of due diligence. But then we'll waste hours and hours and hours of time. Some things only us can do as the leaders of the company. And there's a value to that. Dean was talking about it. There's a value, a dollar value to everything, right? Maybe checking your inbox and scheduling things isn't a good use for your time when you're the only person that can say, yes, let's buy that $1 million thing, right? So use your time. Don't spend your time doing that. Let the people who are garbage cut themselves out. So the core hiring philosophy, get the right people on the bus. This is Jim Collins from the book, Good to Great. This is the first part, right? Get the right people on the bus, get the right people in the right seats, get the wrong people off the bus. That's the quote. I think Hema and I found it the other day. So core philosophy, get the right people on the bus. So this is critical for step 1. You need to attract the right person. Who are we trying to attract? How many people, just real quick, how many people are on your teams? Right, Dane's gonna have 12 people, you have 3 people, 7 people, 2 people, right? You're gonna 4 people. So what if everyone on your team was you? What if you had 7 yous? Usually the question goes from what can we do to what can't we do? Because we can do anything, right? And so those type of people absolutely exist. A great example, I've got a Dane in the room right now. He's the visionary, he's the integrator. He keeps me from shooting the company in the foot continuously. Candidates are their own biggest customer. When they go from not being employed to being employed, that's 0 to 1. And if they're not gonna go above and beyond for themselves, they're sure as hell not gonna go above and beyond for you or your customers. And so I want you guys to internalize that, because the standard hiring procedure is like, post something on ZipRecruiter or Indeed. It's now been 9 weeks and now we're really screwed. Really quickly, spend 15 minutes a day going through resume. Okay, now 2 more weeks pass, 3 weeks pass, and you're like, okay, next person who doesn't look stupid on paper, we'll bring them in, you hire them. Then you gotta train them. They weren't the right person for the team. 4 months later, you're in the same loop. Okay, that's the normal way. So we're basically setting up pass fails. And I'm gonna show you guys some of that. Okay, the lean hiring strategy. Everybody, any questions when we move on the why it's so important? It's very critical. There is some things that are very specific that you need to do, and other ones that if you almost do them, then that's not what we said to do, right? So if you almost put the safety on a gun, that's not putting the safety on a gun. So there's some things. All right, so phase 1, there's 3 phases. Phase 1, attract the right people. We're talking about bald guy theory. Bald guy theory is from dating apps. So if you are bald, right, then make sure you include at least 1 picture of you being bald. Because if you don't, and you show up to the first day, it's only you in hats, right, or old pictures of you. If you show up on the first date or third or fourth date and you find out that you're bald, then they're gonna feel lied to, right? But instead, if you are honest, right? You need to stack strategies in your favor. So you gotta have you and a cute animal, you and a group of friends, you not vainly working out at the gym, and then make sure you have one picture of you bald if you are bald. What'll happen is people who will have an issue with you being bald are not going to swipe. You're not gonna match. And the people who won't have that issue are gonna show up to the date. So whatever you're self-conscious about, whatever you wanna lean into for your company culture, you wanna highlight that thing. You wanna make it specific, right? Don't put your best foot forward. It's a fake foot, put your foot forward. And so it's really important to do this because you're using it to pre-screen things away. When I was in the dating game back in the day, I remember seeing this and it was like, if you're a Democrat, then swipe left. If you're a Republican, then swipe left. A lot of opinions. They were putting filters in there so people would do that. I put a filter in that was like, if you're not willing to get dirt on your fingernails, then this probably isn't gonna work out. So attracting the right people. So you're gonna film a YouTube video about your job. You're going to use bald guy theory and you're gonna show off your company culture. And I'm gonna pick on Dave. I know he's not here, so it's easy to pick on. But I would pick on him anyways if he was here. Dave wants a bro culture in his company. He's ex-military, he was a Marine, he wants that. So he needs to highlight that in his company. So if you want yoga studio vibes, you probably don't want that. You want soft music playing. You wanna showcase what you want your company to be like, right? For those of us in this room too, a lot of companies are like, oh, we treat our employees like their family. I think that's a bullshit statement. Instead say, we treat our employees like, on our teams, like we're a freaking going to the championship football team or something, where it's like, hey, we expect a lot, we demand a lot, but we play hard, win hard. Set clear expectations and reject 100% of applications that don't include a video. So we're going to get into that next. So you're gonna upload this video and you're gonna make an ask. It's not a requirement, it's an ask. So I'll give you some examples, but basically you're gonna say, it goes something like this. If you're interested in the job, please send us your resume. If you're really interested, please send us a video of why you think you'd be a good fit for the job. Pull out your phone, turn it horizontal, and just send us a quick 30 seconds, 2-minute video, whatever. And by the way, don't be alarmed. This whole video was shot on a phone, right? Very, very simple. Yes.
You post the video of you saying that to the Indeed listing?
Correct. Or on Facebook Marketplace or everywhere. So it says video description. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. This also has a side benefit of when you hit that video, the video link description, it'll actually take them away and then you have the opportunity to do that. Notice in the video, I didn't say how to send me a video. Email popped up. In the description, I'll have something, confused Dane once, but it was like, in the subject line, type in hexagons or the bestagons. And so now I knew that they saw the video, they went to the description to figure out how to apply, they saw the email address to apply it to, and then in the subject line put hexagons or the bestagons. I didn't say, hey, you must do this. I said, if you're interested, send me your resume. If you're really interested, do this. I didn't tell them how to do it. So that it meters for two things. The first thing is critical thinking skills. It didn't say how, as long as they got the video to us, they got the video to us. If they don't know how to do that, they'll figure it out. Any one of us in this room would have figured that out. The second thing is, do they have attention to detail or do they have an ownership mindset? So then that's the bottom one. Reject 100% of applications that do not include a video. So for every 100 applications, here's some of the videos. Business owners, are you aware that I have a newsletter down below in the description, and it is full of all the tactics and stuff that if I put it on YouTube, I will be demonetized. It is a weekly newsletter that will go out telling and talking to you guys about the things that will help you and us, our businesses, stay ahead. If you're interested, check the link, click the link below. Now, back to the video. Bald guy theory. You notice that most of the things I said was a rejection, and then I also showcased like kind of silliness. That's gonna be the culture of the company. So they need to be cool with that culture. So, and just for fun, treat for you guys, this is my bald guy theory. These are the actual photos that I used. So check my now wife, Cole, in the profile. We're in a very conservative area. And so my photos, I did market research. I had to do a bunch of, made a female account and I saw all the male accounts. And then I basically made pictures making fun of the male accounts. But showcasing what, if they're not gonna have a sense of humor, they would not have swiped. So ball guy theory, put your foot forward. Make sure you exaggerate your, whatever you think that thing is. Okay, phase 2, the selection process. Expect 3 out of 100 applicants to submit a video. Of the 3 applicants to submit a video, 1 will be horizontal, the other 2 will be vertical. This is every country, every industry, every demographic. Doesn't matter if it's service-based manufacturing, doesn't matter if it's Germany, Portugal, Mexico. These are the metrics. So what we've done, another way to put this is, we did not waste our time with 97 applicants. We're only looking at 3 applicants. Remember, your time's valuable, and you're looking for a you, and all of us would have made it through that video. Critical thinking skills with an ownership mindset that's gonna serve, that's willing to get out of their comfort zone. Do not require them to make it optional. That's where I see people fail the most. They say, yeah, to apply for the position, submit a video. Cool, that's not gonna get you what you want. It might get you what you want, yes.
3 out of 100 applicants.
Correct.
So I've had a thing kind of embedded in my description saying like, hey, make sure you submit a video if you want to be basically very serious about this position.
Correct.
With that, virtually none
Correct.
submitted a video.
Okay.
So if I want to hire someone faster than 12 months from now, how do I?
It's a marketing thing. You get it in front of more places, and you send that video. If you have team members that you do like, who you do trust, you have them send it to their friends. Rock stars normally, no rock stars. So if you have someone on your team who's like, yeah, they're okay, don't send them that video and ask them to recruit. If you're like, man, Bob's fucking awesome, I want more Bobs, then have Bob send the video out to more Bobs, because Bob knows Jim at a company where that guy's being underappreciated and hates his job. But yeah, the short answer is, the first thing you said, oh my gosh, I really want to hire someone and I really need it because now I'm getting overflooded with work. But you know what? I've been waiting for 9 weeks, now 10 weeks, now 11 weeks, just hire the next person. Now I spent 4 months training him. Hurrah, they're on the team. Nope, they left. And it was massive chaos. So you're actually not going to get the qualified people in any faster amount of time. And then the other one, we may or may not have time to watch. Okay. All right. So then after you select the 3 people, what they don't know is all 3 people get to come onto the second level, the second round of interviews. So we basically say, hey, congratulations, you got accepted. Please move on. Please read these 2 books before you get here. And here's the links to these 2 books. So we've got 2 Second Lean, which is available on YouTube for free. And then we did not pirate Extreme Ownership and send it with the initial email. So we send them those questions and we say, congratulations, your date is gonna be whatever the date is. And also come prepared with questions about our company. So you've got 3 applicants, all 3 of them get it. Sometimes the answer is, these 3 people are all awesome. I'm gonna hire all 3. Because it's, even though you're not afford it, you can't afford it yet. Some of it's like, hey man, we gotta make a choice right now, but we want to hire you, but give us X amount of time. Because I think you're a perfect fit. Maybe you lose them, maybe you don't, whatever. And you can make these are the ones that we require, because you all always hire, I don't have a slide for this, always hire for character. You can train for skill. Give us enough time, we can train anyone on any task in this room because our character is correct, right? We can take Luke, we can train him how to do AI bots. If we give enough time, it'll be completely fine, right? So the main thing is always, never hire, and I wish Dan was here because we were talking about Dan last night. He's like, oh, I hired an EA because she used to work for a lawyer office and it was, I think she has some skills. Never hire for skills. If you want a welder, hire for character, and if he happens to be able to weld, great. You can teach skill, you can't teach character. Okay, so then when they show up, you ask them open-ended questions to see if they actually did any prep work. And you'll be able to know immediately. What kind of questions? What about our company do you like the most? What was your biggest takeaway from 2 Second Lean? Open-ended questions, right? Whatever it is. You'll be able to tell. So again, let's take this back. The number one thing that we want is employees that have an ownership mindset with critical thinking skills. That's the rest of that pyramid thing that I'm not even talking about. I'm just talking about the hire. Get the right people on the bus. Anything, any job, anywhere, VAs, not VAs, get the right people on the bus first. And these are pre-qualifiers for what's going to make a successful teammate, first and foremost. Selection process, right? Pretty simple, right? Film a video, put it out there. Hey, we're looking to hire XYZ. If you're interested, send us your resume. Yeah.
Seen any written data. You've only assessed a video, and they may.
Normally, they'll include their resume with it, but I don't care. Whatever they said. His name's Isaac Fuller. He is a very young entrepreneur. I think he's probably like 22 right now. But at 18, he was running a shop in the UK. He gave a great example. They do battery manufacture and welding. They do a lot of that. And so he said, if I hire a guy with 20 years experience welding, that doesn't mean he knows how to weld. It just means he hasn't died in 20 years. It also doesn't mean that he's not an asshole to work with. But if I hire a 19-year-old, that doesn't mean he's bad at welding. So they have a really creative structure, but it's like, I don't hire for character, train for skill.
The reason I was asking that question, how at this point, when you ask these open questions in person, have you assessed their character?
Usually when they show, how do we accept it? They overcame critical thinking skills because we didn't tell them how to apply or how to get us a video. Then they read attention to detail again. Dane got an email once that said, hexagons are the bestagons. And he's like, this must be for Hugh. And it was us trying to hire somebody because that was in the subject line, put this. So now they pay attention to detail. They have critical thinking skills, and they're willing to get out of their comfort zone to go above and beyond for themselves, which means they might do that for you. So that's how I judge their character before they ever get here. Then when they show up, you ask them if they actually did the research. So I generally don't even look at their actual resume. Usually if you apply for a welder, welders are going to apply. Usually if you apply for a video editor, video editors are going to apply, right? And we use this process for our VAs in the Philippines. It's how we got our current VA. Not a deal breaker, but usually you know, and they're always going to be a lukewarm employee. I mean, not always, but I'm going to say 8 out of 10 times. 80% chance they're going to be lukewarm, not epic. They answer everything, they pass all the tests that they didn't know they were going through, then they're probably going to be somebody that's very, very trainable, motivated, creative, that kind of stuff. This episode is brought to you by, well, me, actually. If this is your first time here, we actually have a Facebook group with like-minded individuals and free tools, so check the description for more. The free tools are going to be helping your business out, make more money, and also teaching you how to invest and tools around investing. Back to the video. All right, phase 3 is the trial period. This is Tom Hughes. I can't work with you until I've worked with you. From the book, Improvement Starts with I. He's a good friend of mine. What does this mean? This means I'm not going to hire someone unless I've worked with them before. So what you do is you have a trial period. So for in-person jobs like manufacturing or welding or contractors or plumbers or whatever, pool guy cleaning, it's generally a week period. And a lot of people can fake an interview, but they can't fake doing it with the guys. Right? They can't fake being on the shop floor with your guys, right? And you'll know. If it's going to be an office work, you just put them on probation for 90 days. And you can hire them as 1099, maybe hire them W-2, whatever, state laws vary. Make sure you guys follow the due diligence. But you run the trial. If it's VAs, often it's like, here's a sample project, try it out. I want to see your work. I can't work with you until I've worked with you. Too many of there's the book, I think it's like Who, which is a hiring book. It has a lot of that kind of stuff in it. It doesn't take shit about character. So you could be hiring someone that's not a team player, all kinds of stuff like that. It varies on, if I'm hiring a video editor, I'm gonna send them stuff. They should be telling me things on how to do it. Now, it's not a deal breaker if they don't. Remember, you hire for character, training for skill. If you like them and they show promise, or they're like, I've never used that app before, or hey, I'm used to welding on steel. I've never welded on aluminum, but I'll give it a shot. I'm teachable, trainable. You can kind of gauge that from their reaction, right? A bigger thing for VA specifically is none of them fucking submit videos. So we had one guy out of 280 apps.
So then, did you only hire one? That's the only one there.
Do you do the sample project after? It's not a sample project. It's like their first project, or is that part of your technical aspect of your?
Yeah. So at that point, I gave him a project to do, and I said, "Hey, if things work out, I'll give you more work." Right? I'm looking at the next 20 years. I'm not looking at this year. I'm not looking at this project. So my contract is the same thing. I'm looking at the next 10 years with you. Not looking at this crack house. Right? When you are placing your jobs, again, if you're looking for an engineer, structural engineer, you're probably posting this on a structural engineer board, and structural engineers are applying for it. If you're looking for a welder, you're probably posting on boards that welders are looking at that are then applying for. So you often get the skill that you're looking for, but not always. That's what this is for, the trial period. I can't work with you till I work for you. If it's a longer time commitment, 90 days. Or you can say everybody, let's say you need a year to know, then you could put people on a 1-year contract. But you don't need that. Every one of us in this room has been on a team, and within 2 days of working with them, you know if that person's a piece of crap or not. And your team will too. So after you have a Rockstar's team, maybe not before, right? Let's say you're just hypothetically buying a residential assisted living operations side that comes with people. Maybe they're not the best people to give their opinion on. Oh, that's right. Then you let the team vote. Blind ballot, whatever. So you let the team know. If you have a team that's established already, right? If it's just you, you're a solopreneur, you want really hands-on. So you can ask Dane, you can ask Marty. I focus very, very heavily on the cultural side of things. And then I force a very rigid framework that is extremely flexible that everyone must go through. And so long as they do that and they're semi-capable of their job, it generally is going to result in a self-replicating form of success. So at the end, let your team vote after the 1-week trial. So this is directly from FastCap. You can fake an interview. You generally can't fake a lot of stuff. FastCap had somebody that they hired. They got into in FastCap is who wrote, is Paul Akers' company, who wrote 2 Second Lean. The guy gets into the back. He starts working with the shop guys. He starts talking all this shit. And so the team, day 2, came to Paul and was like, we want this guy out of here. So I was like, cool, you didn't pass him. So your team will meter for you because rockstars work with rockstars. They don't want someone who's gonna drag them down. It's a big deal. Yep.
Roughly what percentage is making it through this trial period?
Almost everybody. Usually if they make it to your company, then you can start metering and checking for skills and seeing if it's a good fit. Sometimes it's just not the right seat. I remember hiring someone that was, they were applying for a sales position or something. And then I looked at their resume and they were 4 years experience with website design. I was like, website design? Can you actually work with this team for a little bit and see how you do with them? And so we just actually put her to that team. It was actually pretty cool. So, so this is a big one. Your team knows right. Think about the military, special forces, pre-select a bunch of people out who don't meet the requirements and then put them through a rigorous training process that will then probably result in the results you want. Real world proof lessons. Dave's hiring disasters. Again, picking on Dave. Dave hired someone who then robbed him, used Dave's money to start his own business, then took all the shit from him and then competed against Dave because Dave didn't go through the hiring process. The next person he hired didn't go through the lean hiring process again, used the book Who, found someone that was capable, ended up stealing-ish, not sure, just wasn't very good, but again, lean hiring process. It's not 100%, but it's the likelihood that you're gonna get, I think she was an aide de camp or general's assistant, came out. She was awesome for a year, but she was taking $500 and then buying stuff on the company car for herself. So and then she was paying it back, but still. Okay, here's a great example. So this HR guy we were looking for, it was Springfield Marine. They ended up having the HR person of 30 years retire. And so I wanted to put the lean hiring process in place. This guy got hired without the lean hiring process. He says to me, I wouldn't have gotten this job under this process. He says this to me.
The HR guy that you hired?
I didn't hire this guy. I was not high enough up at the company at the time. And so they hired somebody outside of this. Ex-military, ex-cop, checked a lot of good boxes, very personable, confident, authoritative figure, seemed to be okay. Says for me, word for word, I'm like, hey, I know we just got hired, but I want to implement this hiring process, which is the one I just described. And he was like, I wouldn't have gotten this job under this process because I wouldn't have wasted my time submitting a video for you. Character flaw. Piece of shit. Jump ship to a different company. Don't even know if he works there anymore. Character flaw. I would not have wasted my time submitting it to you. When you are the biggest customer, when you go from 0 to 1, I'm getting a job, I am the biggest recipient of value. So that's a big deal. All right. Last one, cost savings. To post on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, all that stuff, it costs a lot of money. They're popping us now with like $35 for us to view applications. If you redirect them to a video application, you're going outside of that. If you're going on the job boards, on Facebook, in groups, and you're posting, because wherever we are geographically, there's going to be groups of people looking for stuff, like burnout nurses, whatever. Hey, nurses looking for medium-term rentals, you might be able to post a job listing there. You can sidestep a lot of this nickel and diming that goes on. Because what matters is you hire for character through your skills. Now, adapt this how you want, but the important thing is make sure they submit a video, don't require the video. And then throw in there stuff that you want them to know, right? Maybe for an engineering company, you're gonna want them to know, hey, make sure you come prepared to answer basic questions around engineering, right? And the answers to the open-ended questions usually, especially about lean, are like really terrible because they don't know it. But you know if they did it. Even if they just spark noticed it. Depends on the needs of your business. So if you need a CEO, you make that video about what the CEO is. If you need somebody to do, I know you saw the marketing, the outside guy one, that was more of an entry-level position. And so we made it kind of fun, silly. You're gonna be outside doing manual labor, man. Make sure that you're okay with that, right? We're saying repetitive stuff. So you tweak your job description. So you just take a job description, you make a video about it. Make sure you include your company culture. Don't have a corporate sanitized whatever, unless you want a corporate sanitized company. If that's what you want, have it. If you don't want that and you want, whatever awesome epic ones, hey, we have really cool stuff for, we have the best, whatever you do. We will make sure you die in this place happy, right? Because we are the best operators. You die with a smile on your face. Die happy here. Make sure you include what you want your company culture to be like. So anything, it works for everything. It works in any country. There's a lot, it's not just me. I did not come up with this. This is the lean hiring process. It works in any country, any position, anywhere. Closing thoughts. If you're too lazy to try something different, then this method isn't for you. Usually this is to a more broad audience. You guys are used to getting out of your comfort zone, so you're gonna be fine. We want self-motivated people, right? So I said it a lot in my video. We want critical thinking people that are self-motivated, that have an ownership mindset. This is gonna give you the best chance at getting a candidate that you can use to then mold to put through your systems and processes. And then stop wasting time. Like, it's not about a bad person coming on your team can ruin a team. You guys have all felt it and experienced it. It's terrible. Plus all the energy and the effort and the money spent, and then you could drive a lot of great people off. So there's that. All right, 70% of a company is culture, 30% is business. That's the rest of that stack. Make sure you guys get the right people on your team. It's so simple that smart people refuse to believe how simple it can be. One more thing on the business versus culture. Ray Dalio, anybody a fan? I think his companies probably have a shit culture, even though he's got the 365. Why? He's quit 5 times. He can't leave. His 30% is probably rocking, but there's a militaristic culture. There's something that's not allowing it to just go, allowing him to leave, which he specifically has stated many times that he wants to, right? He's missing that cultural part. That's the rest of the business blueprint stack, but this part's probably a third of it, getting the right people on the team.
How do you build a great culture when you are in a position where you're wanting to kind of exit from the day-to-day?
It takes approximately 9 months to 12 months, depending on the size of your company, to turn a culture around. I was talking to Dan about this as well. If you start off in the beginning with a shareholder mindset, then even when you jump in as boots on the ground, because you've got to get the stuff running, don't build the systems and processes around you. Build the systems and processes as if you're a shareholder, right? Don't build something that's like, okay, when this happens, call Luke. build it as, when this thing happens, call this thing. That's kind of what Stacy was getting at the other day. So then, as you hire, as you grow, as you scale, you can swap people in and out, right? You want the process in charge of running your business, not a person. Single point of failure.
The book, Raising the Bar, is the book about Cliff Bar. It's a really good read if you're interested, but literally your whole culture, everything that company went through. He lost his culture, lost everything that he wanted to build, to have a community and to really build something special. Went to sell it, it turned into all numbers, the whole company just plummeted, no one wanted to work there, was shit, and then he decided not to sell it and returned it back around because he cared more about the community and the culture of the company than anything else.
Right, absolutely. And a lot of you guys are better than me in this room at a lot of the 30%. But a lot of you guys can't walk away from a company almost indefinitely. And so when you're scaling, whether it's just you or more people, it's very, very critical to make sure you do that. Q&As, anybody have questions? Oh, if you want, we have a PDF printout. The link I double checked kind of works. This was built out last night. So the landing page here for this one. This is just it takes you to hughcarnahan.com/resources. And it's just a community page, but I'm using it for all the stuff. I'm gonna actually add everything to that community page in the future, but if you just want the resources, what's up? So this resources has a lot more stuff with, that's gonna be stuff you can print out, directly use and train your team. All of it's free.
So on, Indeed, like I run things on Indeed, shitloads of notifications saying, oh, this person like sent in their resume or whatever, right? And what I would like to do is, I try to think about it from like a sales perspective. If I just want to be like hot chick and like wait for the dudes to come up to me at the bar, it's going to take longer to find good lines out there. So what are your thoughts on me doing like an auto response, sending a message to all the people that basically said interest, because they're probably shotgunning out their resume to tons of different places, but then kind of engaging and then embedding those instructions.
I think it's fine as long as you're not making everything a requirement.
Like don't make it up too obvious.
Yeah. Hey, if you're interested, here's the video description of the position. The fact that you're right though, they shotgun out a million places, and then when you get a reply, that's when you check.
Yeah.
Right? That was an old Plenty of Fish tactic for those who get predating apps. So yeah, shotgun everything, and then but when you get the response back, just be like, yeah, if you're interested, here's the video description of the resume. So a lot of them are also metering the web links as well. Everyone has varying degrees of mastery, but this is pretty close, and you guys can probably attest to it. You'll be a little bit faster on the curve. There's something called hands, heads, hearts, and hands, heads, hearts is basically, hey, just do it for a month. And by the end of that month, that person, your employee is gonna understand it on a surface level. Head is after 3 months, they're gonna actually like understand it a little bit, maybe the why behind it. Approximately 9 months later, they're gonna have internalized it, even if they wanted to fight you at the beginning. They'll have internalized it to the point where they have hands, heads, hearts. They will be able to completely understand the why, they've internalized it, and they can independently iterate on whatever that thing is. So when you're doing any kind of culture shift, that's basically what the rest of this big old 200-page slide training is basically all that stuff. But when you're bringing people through, whatever you want them to know, so here's like our Stack Foundation, which is how to build culture. You just force everybody through the lens of what you think is important. And so this 70% that you saw is basically how to build someone. If you get the right person on the team, how to build someone at the end of that's going to be epic. And then the 30% is, us coming to events and doing the marketing and whatever. But the time frame is basically a month. People generally kind of get things and can be unsupervised. 3 months, they kind of actually might know it. And then by 9 months, they'll have internalized it, if you have the proper training. Thanks so much for sticking around to watch. Please help us by watching this next video.